everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be my favorites for 2018, but this is anything that is not a palette. I have already filmed a palette favorites for the year and I will link to that down below. This is basically all the other stuff that I have loved tremendously throughout the year. 2018 was a year that I don't feel like I really discovered any new blushes. I don't really know what happened, but my interest in blushes pretty much just died. Not from the sense that I don't like wearing them, I do really enjoy them and I like what's in my collection, but I didn't feel this urge to go out and buy anything new or really try any new blushes in general. I felt like what I had was good enough and that's what I've kind of been sticking with this year. So I might have mentioned these before in another favorites, but the Urban Decay, what do they even call it? Afterglow 8-hour powder blushes are fantastic. I know that this shade in particular, Bittersweet, the purple one, has been in my favorites before and I have continued to wear this constantly throughout 2018. It's one of those colors that I always go back to whenever I have like either a purple or a blue eyeshadow look on. I just feel like this really goes with it. It must be said that this is not the most natural of blush colors, but I really enjoy it. And the one that is a little bit more, I guess, a traditional blush color would be X-rated. Now you can't actually buy this on Sephora's website, which is really frustrating. You have to get it directly from Urban Decay, so it's an exclusive to their website. But it's one of those cool toned pink colors that I'm not really drawn to because this kind of color doesn't appeal to me. But it does look really, really nice on my cheeks, so I have to accept the fact that, you know, this kind of coloring works for me. So I've really enjoyed the Urban Decay blushes. They don't have a ton of shades, which is really sad because I think they're really easy to work with. They blend on nicely. They don't look super, I don't know, they're pigmented, but they're not overkill. I mean, the purple can be if you put a lot on, but they're just one of those easy to wear blushes and I go back to these constantly. By the way, if you're interested in this makeup look, I have already filmed it as a tutorial, so I'll link to that down below as well. In keeping with blushes that I've kind of just gone back to in my collection, the Too Faced Papa Dough Peach blush has been a staple for me, particularly throughout the summer, just because I feel like this kind of coral peachy orange works really well in the summer. And it is a shimmery blush, and I can't really explain why I'm drawn to it because I don't think of myself as somebody who enjoys shimmery blushes, but I wore this a ton throughout the summer. I love the smell on the Sweet Peach range. I've said so many times that it really is my favorite scent that Too Faced makes. And this was just another one of those easy to wear colors. It matched all of the kind of coral eye looks that I tend to do in the summer. And I'm still reaching for this now. It's December and, you know, every now and then I pull out a coral eye anyway, and this one works really well. This was the year of Wet n Wild loose highlighters. And loose highlighters are a pain in the butt. I know, I don't like using them. I much prefer something that's pressed just because it's easier to swirl your brush in there. You don't have to worry about like kick up and dust going everywhere. The first one I really got to know well was the Wet n Wild Moon Tears Loose Highlighting Powder. It came out with their Gothographic collection, which was several months ago now. And this color is, oh, there's so much powder in here. I'm gonna spill that everywhere, aren't I? This color is gold and it's quite luminescent. It's shiny, it's slightly shimmery. There is a little bit of tiny flecks of shimmer in here. It's not super obvious, but they are there. Oh, that color. It's so wild. So Moon Tears came out towards the start of the year and then they released another one with their Zodiac collection. Now this one is called Written in the Stars, and it's a more pink version of Moon Tears. So it's like the same type of idea. It's another loose powder and it's quite shimmery and luminescent and beautiful, but this one is more on the pink peach side of things. They're both stunning. They are both so good. If I'm wearing something that's more of a pink peach look, I'll reach for this one. If I'm wearing something more golden, I'll reach for Moon Tears. I go back to these constantly. All the freaking time. I'm so surprised too because I have really neglected some of my powder pressed highlighters in favor of these and they're super cheap. I think they're like $6 each and they, do I want to say this? They might actually be the best highlighters in my entire collection. It's a bold statement, isn't it? But I feel really strongly about these. If you ever spot them, pick them up immediately. I'm really anxious to see more colors too. I want like every color of the rainbow in this kind of formula. Pencil eyeliners are something in makeup that I'm not particularly drawn towards. I don't have a ton in my collection just because they're not something that I use very, very frequently. I'm usually putting a liquid liner for a wing, so I don't really have a whole lot of space for pencils in my arsenal. But there are two that I went back to a lot this year, and one of them I'm actually wearing right now on my lower waterline. And that's the Marc Jacobs Eyeliner Gel Crayon, and this particular shade is called Fine Wine. This is a dark, almost bloody red color that I really am drawn to. I like putting a red on the waterline. I know it doesn't appeal to everybody, but this particular shade is perfect for that because it's a little bit darker. It's not like a red like my shirt is, where it's almost a little bit too bright of a red for the waterline and can tend to make you look a little bit sick. This one's darker overall, so it really stands out on the eye. The Marc Jacobs Eyeliner Gel Crayon formula is fantastic overall. I've used two of the black mini ones before and they're fantastic, and I've really been enjoying it in this red color as well. The other one is another one that I've been really enjoying on the waterline, and that's the Inglot Kohl pencil in the shade 05. This is basically my skin tone, maybe a little bit brighter, and I mentioned this in a video quite a while ago, but I said, like, I didn't understand the trend like 10 years ago when YouTubers were putting white pencil eyeliner on their lower waterline because I thought it looked really bizarre. Over time, they moved from white liner to like a more cream color, and I thought that was a little bit, you know, less stark on the eye, but I never got into that trend. Well, in 2018, I'm, you know, decades behind the times, but I finally started putting this on my lower waterline, and it does definitely brighten up your entire eye look. I won't do it if I'm wearing something particularly deep and dark because the contrast is a little bit too stark, but if I'm wearing something that's more coral or peach or something just a bit brighter overall, I reach for this one, and it does wonders to make your eye look awake and alive, so I've really enjoyed this one. I haven't actually tried any more of Inglot's Kohl pencils other than the shade, but this one is super buttery and soft, and it's just really easy to apply on the waterline. And despite it being buttery and soft, it actually stays put, which is a huge bonus. In 2018, I also decided that I have a favorite liquid eyeliner, and that's the Physicians Formula Eye Booster. I use the shade Ultra Black. I've not actually used their regular black one. I just go for the one that is super black. I've tried a lot of brush tip pen style liquid liners over the years, and I think I can safely say that the Physicians Formula one is my absolute favorite. I used to like the Art Deco one, but I used it right after using this one, and I am convinced now that it's inferior to this one, and I think the Art Deco one is a good 20 bucks more expensive than the Physicians Formula one. So hands down, this is my favorite liquid liner. It's just so easy to create a wing with this. And if you're somebody that has always tried felt tip and you've never tried a brush applicator, one that's in a pen like this, because the hairs actually like splay out, I would encourage you to try it. I find a felt tip applicator is very difficult because it doesn't really like curve around the corners of your eyes like a brush tip can. So felt tip for me is just an absolute no-go. I do not enjoy it whatsoever, but a brush tip, and particularly the Physicians Formula one, is the absolute best as far as I'm concerned. I had two bronzer favorites this year, and they're both by Too Faced. One makes a lot of sense. I really enjoy the Sweetie Pie bronzer from the Peaches and Cream collection because it is quite peach tone. It has that peaches and cream scent. It's quite pale, so this really only works on my kind of skin tone or somebody more fair than me. And it's a really nice overall peach toned bronzer that was just easy to use. Just flat out easy to use. It's never too much color on your face, and that's probably because there are like hints of peach in there amongst like a deeper shade and then a more paler one as well. So this bronzer just became one of those easy to grab colors all the time. But the other one that I've really been enjoying, and I'm a little bit confused about why I do like it, is the Unicorn Tears bronzer. This one is quite dark, so you have to wear it very lightly on your face. Like, go in with a super light hand or you're gonna get too much color overall. I mean, this totally depends on your skin tone, right? For me, if I go heavy-handed with that color, it's too much bronzer. But the thing that is bizarre about this, and I don't really know why I like it, is that there's this huge chunk of like pearly blue unicorn in the middle, and that thing dumps an awful lot of random glitter on your face. I mean, it's not chunks of glitter, so it's not like super chunky and super obvious, but if you swirl your brush in this entire thing and go straight on your face, and you look very close at your face, you will notice little blue shimmer specks in your bronzer. And that's a weird look, and I don't really know why I enjoy it so much, but I do. And it might be a combination between the blue and the bronze, kind of creates this sort of like moonlit bronzer idea. I don't love the shimmer, I have to point that out, but I have gravitated back towards this bronzer so many times this year that I have to talk about it because there's clearly something I am really enjoying about this thing. And maybe it is just because this one ends up being more of a cool tone bronzer, and bronzer in general is fairly warm. So I've gone for this a lot when I've been wearing a lot of bright, cool toned eyeshadow looks because it sort of just goes with the theme. And it does have that chocolate smell to it too, so that's pleasing. But again, I think this is a weird favorite. I can't really figure out why I like it so much, but I have used this a ton in the last year. For yearly favorites, I'm keeping a running list every single year on my phone of the products that I've been loving throughout 2018. And it's always interesting to me when I get to the end of the year and I look back and I realize that there's products in there that I used at the start of the year that I've completely forgotten about towards the end of the year. And one of those products is this highlighter. This is the Too Faced Love Light Prismatic Highlighter in the shade Ray of Light. Now they have a more pearlescent white one, and then there's a gold one as well. This one is the peach, slightly rose gold shade, and I probably use this quite a bit throughout spring into summer, but as the weather gets cooler, it's just not a shade that I reach for a ton. These are great, and I don't hear anybody talking about them at all. I feel like this is one of those products that people probably hyped to begin with years ago when it came out, and then they just kind of forgot about it. But it is a permanent product as far as I'm aware, and I've reached for this color a ton in 2018. It is very smooth, soft, it's shimmery, it's luminescent. I mean, I'm pretty much always going to use those words to describe a highlighter, but this one was really gorgeous, and no one talks about them anymore, so I don't think that they're anybody's favorite anymore, but I really did enjoy this one. I used a ton of glitter liners in 2018, not so much to put liner on my eye, but to create glitter freckles, and there's two brands that I think they're the only ones really that make glitter liner, but they're ones that I really enjoyed because they have a variety of shades, and that is Too Faced and Urban Decay. So the Too Faced ones are the Glitter Pop Peel Off Liners. They've got a lot of fun colors. I mean, they do have your more traditional gold and silver, but they have ones that are more special. So there's a blue one here called I'm Half Mermaid, and this one here is called Fairy Queen. It's a little bit more of a purple shade. And I just grabbed these ones, but I love the entire range. They are not so much of a peel-off liner that you have to be worried about them just popping off of your face. They will stay put until you take them off, but it does make for easy removal. And then the other ones are by Urban Decay, and they're called their Heavy Metal Liners. Much like Too Faced, they have a whole range of colors, but they also have their silver and their gold. This other one is called Cat Call. It's a little bit more of a pink with, well, there's silver in it too, but it can look quite deep, which is nice because if I'm putting it on as freckles, I don't always need something that's super bright. I want something a little bit deeper to look a little bit more natural, which is a weird comment for glitter liner, I know. But I loved mixing any of these colors together to get different looks. I would often take like 2 shades and dot them all over my face depending on what kind of eye look I was wearing, because I usually tried to match the colors. And it's just something that I really had a lot of fun with in 2018. And these were great to use for that because they're so simple. It's just a little brush tip applicator. I just dot it all over my face. These were really wonderful. In sticking with glitter, I have to talk about the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows. Now, I have mentioned recently that these do dry up after about a year to 14 months, so just keep that in mind. I would encourage you to buy the minis as opposed to the full-size versions. But man, is this product ever good. Oh, this is the easiest to apply glitter eyeshadow you will ever deal with in your entire life. The applicator on these is so easy to use. It's a paddle foot. You just whack it on there and it stays put. You don't have to be worried about fallout all over the place. It goes on really smooth, super pigmented, and just, it's seamless. Like, it's not a difficult to wear glitter where you're worried about like kind of like patches sticking to different areas on your face. This goes on incredibly smoothly. I grabbed 2 colors, but honestly the whole range is good. I've got Gold Goddess here, which is a gold color, and then Kitten Karma here, which is a little bit more of a rose gold beige champagne color. They have a huge range of colors. They are fantastic. I have about 10 of them, but I will be buying the minis from now on because I can't deal with the fact that they do dry up in about, 14 months time because they're just so expensive. But again, top-notch quality. These are fantastic. In 2018, I discovered my hands down favorite lipstick formula. They are incredibly pigmented, they are transfer proof, they are comfortable, and the longevity is absolutely unreal. They're the Maybelline matte inks and they are incredible. I'm wearing the red shade right now. It's called Pioneer, but I grabbed two other ones that I've been wearing constantly, and this one is Seductress and this is Ruler. But you can't go wrong with any of the shades. There's 20 of them available right now, and I just want more and more because there is no better product. There is no better lipstick product on the market. The thing that makes these so comfortable to wear in comparison to other liquid lipsticks is that they have a little bit more of a rubber texture, and yet it's not transferring. Like, it doesn't come off at all. They just stay put. The thing with liquid lipsticks that I have such an issue with is that if they don't transfer, they tend to have that dry paint feeling on the lips, and you can't rub your lips together without it feeling like sandpaper. It's just an awful, miserable experience. If they are more comfortable, they tend to transfer. So that's not really great because then I'd rather just wear a normal lipstick, period. So I don't know what's in these, but they're malleable, they're comfortable, you can rub your lips together and nothing is coming off. Like, I'm just so blown away at the matte inks, and they've got a great assortment of shades, but I want more. Like, I want hundreds of colors so that I have something for every potential, you know, eye look that I put together. I cannot rave about these enough, and I really hope that everybody goes out and tries them because these are the foolproof lipstick that I can wear if I'm going out for dinner, if I'm going out for drinks, if I'm gonna be eating food or anything, and I know that these will not move. They're not gonna get on my teeth, and they're not gonna get on my drink, they're not gonna get on my food, and they're not gonna go everywhere on my face either. These are bulletproof, and I adore them. In sticking with lipsticks, I have to talk about Bite's Spice collection. Oh, what a good launch. Now, Bite makes fantastic lipsticks. I've never had a dud shade, I don't think ever. I've had dozens of their colors, but the Spice collection, all of the shades in there were phenomenal. The one I've really enjoyed this year is Saffron Fire. It's this bright orange color. It tends to come off quite neon on me, and I love it. It's just everything I could possibly want in a lipstick color. I mean, the whole Spice collection is good, but I'm just pointing out two colors. You can't really go wrong with any of them. But the other one here is Lit Turmeric, which is a peach pink with some yellow in the base. I think this shade's fantastic. It's a little bit more of a subtle color. I tend to prefer brighter lip colors overall. So Saffron Fire was probably like my peak favorite in that entire collection, but you can't go wrong with any of the shades. I've worn all of them multiple times, and yeah, seriously, I was just so impressed with that collection from Bite this year. And it's still available online as far as I saw. I don't think they've sold out of the shades yet, but it is limited edition, so I would encourage you to check it out now before they're completely gone. More lipsticks here to talk about. These are the Too Faced Peach Kiss lipsticks, and I grabbed my absolute favorite shades. The Bite ones, I mean, that whole Spice collection, go get any shade in there, but I definitely selected two particular colors for the Peach Kiss range. The first one is Peach Beach. Just your normal, average, bright peach coral. I find this shade really easy to wear in the summer, again, when I'm wearing all those coral eye colors. This was definitely the first one I bought and probably my favorite to date. The other one that I've fallen in love with recently is called Chill Pill, and they kind of relaunched their packaging on these lipsticks, and they came out with like 6 or 7 new shades, and this is one of them. Chill Pill is kind of like a burnt orange. It's kind of rusty. It's a little bit brick. It's perfect for the fall and winter. It's such an easy to wear color for this season without it being too like bright red or something like that. I think it's wonderful. These colors are definitely my absolute favorites, but the Peach Kiss Moisture Matte range is that very comfortable matte texture. It feels quite emollient on the lips. The scent does linger though. It's the peaches and cream smell, and you can smell it a lot in the tube, and it definitely lingers on the lips. It doesn't bother me, but if you're somebody who is not loving the way your lips can taste from an artificial scent, you might want to be aware of that. For me though, it's fine. I do like the smell, and the fact that it lingers for 6+ hours doesn't bother me. Here's a strange one. I don't really like setting spray. I don't think it does anything. If anything, it just wets my face and then I get annoyed because then I get some water droplets on my face and I just think it does basically nothing. But I really liked the Too Faced Festival Refresh spray this year, and it's probably because it smells really good. It's kind of that berry, I don't know, sour tart scent. I've used half the bottle, so clearly I've enjoyed it quite a bit. And I'm not convinced that it actually does much for my face, but I did really enjoy using it throughout the summer. It was just kind of hydrating and refreshing feeling in the morning. I do my entire face of makeup and then just do a few sprays on it. And I feel like it just kind of woke me up a little bit. So yeah, I can't vouch for the fact that this actually does anything for my face, but it was really enjoyable to use. So the next three are foundation favorites, and the first one really surprised me. I was sent it by Influencer at the end of 2017, and I didn't really realize how much I liked it until I was near the very end of the bottle, and suddenly it occurred to me that I hadn't reached for another foundation in the few months that I had been using it. And that's the Shiseido Synchro Skin Lasting Liquid Foundation. I have the shade Neutral 2. So I did get this from Influencer at the end of 2017, and I have to say, this is getting very difficult to find. I can't find it on Sephora's website, but it is available at the Bay and Shoppers Drug Mart. So keep that in mind. I don't know why it's not available at Sephora. It makes me a little bit nervous because it feels like it's maybe on the way out, but this stuff is incredible. I wore this, again, for like 3 months straight because it was just so freaking good. I didn't want to look at any other foundation. And I'm not somebody who loves foundation. I think foundation's kind of annoying. I mean, it does give you that blank canvas face that can look very good, especially on camera. But in general, I don't feel like foundation is super comfortable to wear. This one is comfortable to wear, and it just looked fantastic. It's on the more sheer to medium side of things, which is what I prefer in a foundation, and honestly, I just found this thing to be completely flawless. I used up an entire bottle, and this is my second one. So I really love sheer to medium coverage foundations. I just feel like they suit my skin better because I don't really need anything full or heavy coverage all the time. I mean, sometimes for camera it is quite nice because it looks pretty good, but in general for day-to-day wear, I want something sheer. So the Revlon Full Cover Foundation has been an absolute fantastic product this year. Really only discovered it in the last few months, but I have worn this so consistently for times when I know I want my makeup to last quite a long time. And I know it says full cover foundation, but it's really not. It's more on the sheer side of things, and I'm okay with that because that's what I want in my makeup. So the thing that's wild about this is that it's sheer coverage-ish, and yet it actually lasts like 12 plus hours. Most sheer coverage foundations kind of give up the ghost after a few hours and it just doesn't look great on your skin. So I was really happy to discover that the full cover foundation actually lasts a really long time, but it doesn't give me a huge amount of coverage, which is what I want. So I really enjoyed this. This shade is 200 Nude, and it's definitely gonna be too dark for me for the winter. So I'm gonna have to go down a few shades, but I definitely enjoyed this, and apparently Nemo does too. So I really like my sheer coverage foundations, but sometimes I want something that's gonna be a little bit more perfecting on my skin, and I'll reach for something that's a little bit more of a medium coverage. And the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation definitely fits that bill for me. It's more of a medium coverage, slightly leaning full. It's definitely not full, but it's stronger than just a straight medium coverage. This is the shade Snow, and this is what I have on today. It suits me a lot in the colder months when I don't really have any kind of a tan on my skin. And it's really nice. It is more of a matte finish, but it's also that comfort matte formula, so it looks a little bit more satin on the skin as opposed to just looking completely flat and matte. What I appreciate about this one is that even though it's more of a matte coverage foundation, it's not too artificial looking on the face. I mean, foundation in general is artificial looking. It's very difficult to be able to fool people into thinking that you're not actually wearing foundation because it does tend to show up on your face. But this one is more coverage and it does blend in quite seamlessly. So for that reason, I've really enjoyed it, and I do reach for it when I want something that's a little bit more flawless looking, more specifically on camera, but I have worn this quite a bit day to day as well. So that covered off the makeup favorites for 2018, but I've got two products left that fit more into like the beauty category as opposed to just straight up makeup. First one, hairspray. Not something I really talk about much on this channel, but this one has been really life-changing for me. In the last year, I sort of discovered that I liked beachy waves on my hair as opposed to the tighter curls that I used to do before. And the hairspray that works really well for those beachier waves is this one by Got To Be. So this is their Volume Maniac Bodifying Hairspray. And this one has really helped to shape and hold those waves without being too crunchy. Now, if you spray this on your hair, let it dry, it does stay crunchy. But if you finger comb through those curls, through the hairspray will hold the shape of the curl, but you'll be left with something that's a little bit softer overall, so you're not just dealing with like that crusty hairspray feeling. I also really like the scent on this one, so it adds to the experience of using the product, because not only does the product work for what I want it to do, but it also smells really good, so that's enjoyable for me. So this is my second can. It's almost done. There's like near nothing left in it, but I've got another backup in my cupboard right now. And the very last product I have to talk about is a body scrub by Soap & Glory. This is their breakfast scrub, and it says right on the front that it has a great maple scent. And it sure does. And as a Canadian, that makes me very happy. So this is a brand new tub because I just ran through my other one and I had to go pick it up again because I will not be without this thing. I can't pick this up without smelling it. It's an intoxicating scent. It's a lot of maple, but there's more of like an oat flavor to it as well. I want this in some kind of a food. It feels like it should be edible because it smells so freaking good. So not only is the scent incredible on this, but it's also the perfect texture of a scrub for me. It's quite thick and luxurious feeling, but the scrubby bits in there that are actually exfoliating your skin just feel perfect. They're not too thick, they're not too small, they're just that right sort of feeling that I actually feel like it's doing wonders on my skin. I hate when the bits are too small and spaced out, or they're too large and they don't really feel like they're doing anything whatsoever. This one is just perfect, and man, I can't get over the scent. Like, it is just phenomenal. Whew. Okay, so that is it for my 2018 favorites. Let me know about what you've been loving throughout the entire year. Try to think about things that you loved at the start of the year too, because I feel like we always think about what's current now, but there's so much that we used a year ago that we loved just as much as what we're using now. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.